What if I told you that every choice you make, no matter how small, is shaping your future? Imagine this: improving by just 1% every single day. Sounds tiny, right? But over a year, that's a 37x improvement. Now think about the opposite: getting 1% worse each day. The difference is life-changing. Welcome to today's video, where we'll dive into Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that reveals how tiny, consistent changes can lead to extraordinary results. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build habits that transform your life. Habits. They're the invisible architecture of our lives. Think about it. Nearly half of what we do every day is automatic. Brushing your teeth, checking your phone, drinking coffee. Now, what if you could harness that autopilot to work in your favor? That's the promise of Atomic Habits. James Clear doesn't just tell us to build good habits, he shows us how. He explains that habits are like compound interest for self-improvement. Small changes, done consistently, don't just add up, they multiply over time. And here's the kicker: the same is true for bad habits. In today's video, we'll break this down into 3 parts. First, we'll explore the power of small changes. Then, we'll uncover the science of habits, how they work, and how you can master them. And finally, I'll share practical strategies from the book to help you build better habits starting today. Ready? Let's dive in. Segment 1: The power of small changes. Let's start with a simple but powerful idea. Small changes matter. James Clear calls this the 1% better rule. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. It doesn't feel like much in the moment, but over a year, those small improvements compound into something extraordinary. Here's an example from the book, The British Cycling Team. For years, they were terrible. Then, a new coach came in with a radical approach: focus on tiny improvements. They adjusted bike seats, redesigned uniforms, and even tested the best pillows for better sleep. Within 5 years, they dominated the Olympics and the Tour de France. Now, this isn't just about cycling. The principle applies to every area of life. Whether it's fitness, finances, or relationships, small, consistent actions create massive results over time. But here's the thing: the opposite is also true. Small, bad habits compound into big problems. Skipping one workout, eating junk food, or procrastinating. These might seem insignificant today, but over months or years, they can derail your progress. The key takeaway: don't underestimate the power of small changes. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you want to become. So, ask yourself, what's one small habit you can start today? Segment 2: How habits work. The habit loop. Let's talk about how habits actually work. James Clear breaks it down into a simple process called the habit loop, which has 4 key parts: cue, craving, response, and reward. First, the cue. This is the trigger that initiates the habit. It could be a time of day, a location, or even an emotional state. For example, seeing your running shoes by the door might cue you to go for a jog. Next, the craving. This is the motivation behind the habit. It's not the habit itself you want, but the change it promises. For instance, you don't crave brushing your teeth. You crave the fresh feeling afterward. Then comes the response. This is the actual habit or action you take. It could be as simple as drinking a glass of water, or as complex as writing a novel. Finally, the reward. This is the payoff that reinforces the habit. Rewards tell your brain, this was worth it. Do it again. Here's how it works in practice. You wake up, cue, feel groggy, craving, make a cup of coffee, response, and feel energized. Reward. This loop repeats until it becomes automatic. Understanding this loop is the first step to mastering your habits. Once you know how it works, you can tweak each part to build better habits or break bad ones. Segment 3: The 4 Laws of Behavior Change. Now that we've uncovered the mechanics of habits, let's explore how to make them work for us. James Clear introduces the 4 laws of behavior change. a framework designed to help you build good habits and break bad ones. Let's break them down with real-life examples. First, make it obvious. If you want to create a habit, start by making it visible and unavoidable. For instance, if you want to drink more water, keep a water bottle on your desk or in your line of sight. On the flip side, to break a habit, remove the cues. If you're trying to cut back on snacking, don't keep junk food within reach. Second, make it attractive. Habits are driven by cravings, so you need to associate your new habit with something you enjoy. For example, pair your workout with your favorite playlist or reward yourself with a smoothie afterward. If it's appealing, you're more likely to stick with it. Third, make it easy. The more effortless a habit is, the more likely it is to happen. Simplify the process. Prepare your gym clothes the night before or pre-chop veggies for healthy meals. For bad habits, increase the friction. If you're spending too much time on social media, delete the app from your phone. Finally, make it satisfying. Our brains love rewards, so give yourself an immediate sense of accomplishment. For example, use a habit tracker to mark your progress. Seeing those streaks grow is incredibly motivating. To break bad habits, make them unsatisfying. Ask a friend to hold you accountable, or set a penalty for slipping up. These 4 laws are your blueprint for creating habits that stick. By making small adjustments to your environment and mindset, you can set yourself up for success. Segment 4, overcoming challenges and staying consistent. Building habits is one thing, but sticking to them? That's where the real challenge begins. Life happens. Stress, distractions, and unexpected events can throw us off course. But don't worry, Atomic Habits has strategies to help you stay consistent. First, let's talk about the concept of identity-based habits. James Clear emphasizes that the most effective way to stick to a habit is to tie it to your identity. Instead of saying, "I want to run," say, "I am a runner." This subtle shift changes how you see yourself and makes the habit feel like part of who you are. Second, plan for failure. No one is perfect, and that's okay. Clear suggests using the never miss twice rule. If you skip a workout or indulge in a cheat meal, don't let it snowball. Get back on track immediately. Missing once is a slip-up. Missing twice is the start of a new habit, one you don't want. Third, use the 2-minute rule. When motivation is low, shrink your habit to something so small it's impossible to fail. Want to start journaling? Write 1 sentence. Want to exercise? Do 1 push-up. Often starting is the hardest part, and once you begin, momentum takes over. Lastly, celebrate small wins. Habits aren't built overnight, so acknowledge your progress no matter how small. Every step forward reinforces the belief that you're capable of change. Remember, consistency beats perfection. Progress might be slow, but with persistence, the results will compound. As James Clear says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Build those systems, and the results will follow. Segment 5, breaking bad habits. We've talked about building good habits, but what about the ones holding you back? Breaking bad habits can feel like an uphill battle, but James Clear flips the script with the inversion of the 4 laws of behavior change. Let's explore how to dismantle bad habits step by step. First, make it invisible. Bad habits often start with triggers, cues in your environment that prompt you to act. To break a habit, remove those cues. For example, if you're trying to stop scrolling social media late at night, leave your phone in another room before bed. Out of sight, out of mind. Think of it this way. If you don't see the cue, you're less likely to act on it. Rearrange your environment to make the bad habit harder to start. Next, make it unattractive. Habits are driven by cravings, so to break one, you need to reframe it in a way that highlights its downsides. For instance, if you're trying to quit smoking, focus on the long-term health risk or the money you're wasting. Shift your perspective, and the habit will lose its appeal. This mental shift can be powerful. The more you associate the habit with negative outcomes, the less appealing it becomes. Third, make it difficult. Bad habits thrive on convenience, so introduce friction to make them harder to perform. If you're trying to cut back on unhealthy snacks, don't keep them in the house. If you want to stop binge-watching TV, unplug the device or remove streaming apps from your phone. The harder it is to indulge in the habit, the less likely you are to do it. Even small obstacles can make a big difference. Finally, make it unsatisfying. Habits stick because they're rewarding, so introduce immediate consequences to break them. For example, set up an accountability system. Tell a friend your goal and ask them to check in on you. Or create a penalty for slipping up, like donating to a cause you dislike if you break your habit. By making the habit less rewarding or even unpleasant, you'll train your brain to avoid it over time. Breaking bad habits isn't easy, but it's not impossible. By using the inversion of the 4 laws, you can take control of your environment, reframe your mindset, and set yourself up for success. Remember, every small change you make today is a step toward a better tomorrow. Segment 6, Advanced Techniques for Mastering Habits. By now, you've learned how to build good habits, break bad ones, and stay consistent. But what if you want to take it to the next level? Let's dive into some advanced techniques from Atomic Habits that will help you not just achieve your goals, but transform your life. 1. Identity-based habits. First, let's talk about identity-based habits. Most people focus on what they want to achieve, like losing weight or writing a book. But James Clear argues that the key to lasting change is focusing on who you want to become. Here's the difference. Instead of saying, "I want to run," say, "I am a runner." When your habits align with your identity, they feel natural. You're no longer forcing yourself to act. You're simply being the person you believe yourself to be. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Then, let your habits reinforce that identity one small action at a time. 2. The Plateau of Latent Potential. Next, let's tackle a common frustration. Why progress sometimes feels invisible. This is called the Plateau of Latent Potential. When you start a new habit, the results might not show right away. It's like heating an ice cube. Nothing seems to happen until the temperature crosses a critical threshold. Habits work the same way. Results compound invisibly until one day they become undeniable. That's why it's so important to stay consistent and trust the process. Every small action is like a vote for the person you want to become. Remember, success isn't about giant leaps. It's about showing up every day, even when progress feels slow. 3. The Goldilocks Rule. Now let's talk about the Goldilocks Rule. Habits are most satisfying when they challenge you at the edge of your current abilities. Not too easy, not too hard, but just right. When a habit is too easy, it gets boring. When it's too hard, it feels overwhelming. The sweet spot is where you're slightly uncomfortable, but capable of succeeding. That's where growth happens. Find that balance and you'll stay engaged while steadily improving. 4. Habit tracking and accountability. Finally, let's talk about habit tracking and accountability. Tracking your habits creates a visual reminder of your progress. Whether it's a calendar, an app, or a simple notebook, seeing those streaks grow is incredibly motivating. And don't underestimate the power of accountability. Find a partner, coach, or friend who will check in on your progress. Knowing someone else is watching can be the nudge you need to stay on track. Together, these tools help you stay focused, motivated, and consistent. These advanced techniques, identity-based habits, understanding the plateau of latent potential, the Goldilocks Rule, and habit tracking are your secret weapons for mastering habits. Remember, small changes lead to big transformations. So, what's the first habit you're going to master today? Let us know in the comments. The final push to transform your habits. We've covered a lot in this video, from the 4 laws of behavior change to breaking bad habits and mastering advanced techniques. But here's the thing, none of it matters unless you take action. Knowledge is potential. Action is power. Habits aren't just about what you do, they're about who you become. Every small choice you make is a vote for the person you want to be. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. One step at a time. So, here's my challenge for you. Pick one habit you want to start, or one bad habit you want to break, and apply what you've learned today. Start small, stay consistent, and trust the process. And remember, success isn't about achieving your goal tomorrow. It's about showing up today. If this video inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who could use a little push to build better habits. And, if you're ready to take the first step, drop a comment below with the habit you're starting today. Let's hold each other accountable. Thank you for watching and for investing in your future self. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss more videos like this. Together, we can build a life we're proud of. One habit at a time. See you in the next video.